Hi guys, AJ here from Hippie Hog Refuge and Homestead. Yes, we're sitting in my bathroom, but today what I'm going to be doing is part of the upkeep of sprouting as much garlic as I'm currently working on is cleaning out what they're sitting in, because garlic typically doesn't mold. It can if it starts rotting. So, to keep that from happening, you have to change the water if they're not ready to be transplanted. Some of them are, and I'll be setting those aside. But for the most part, they still need a few days. And part of the upkeep is changing the water, because even though garlic might not mold, the water will, and it can smell disgusting. So that's what I will be doing today. That's why I'm in my bathroom. I'm actually at my bathroom sink. So I'm gonna say so one more time. What I'll be using is just a few things. I have a metal bowl for putting the cloves in. I have some very mild antibacterial soap that I will be rinsing out very well. And I'll just be using my fingers because why not? Just to scrub it. I'm not going to put the soap directly into the carton that I'm using. I'm going to foam it up in my hands and scrub it with my fingertips so I don't damage the carton, because it's just styrofoam, the foam styrofoam cartons or whatever they're made out of, so they'll damage very easily. So that's what I'll be doing. Alright, so this is the garlic. Oh, sorry. So as I was saying, some of it is ready to be planted. That's really tall. It's tall enough. Some of it not so much. See, some of these are still really tiny, even though I put them in the water all at the same time. So let's see if I can see that one right there. See how cloudy that is? That needs to be changed. It's also it's viscous. It's gross. There's bacteria growing in it, so I've got to clean all this out. See, some of these aren't even sprouted, but they're growing roots, so not all of them are dead. Actually, I think all of them are growing. Apologize for the jolt. I sat back down. So that's what I'll be doing. I'll be scrubbing these out. I'll be putting them in a bowl temporarily so I can clean this out. And I'll be, like I said, I'll be using my fingertips instead of a scrubby or washcloth. Excuse me. Okay, so right away, if you can see, the roots are quite curly. That means that they now no longer have room. So if I wasn't going to plant these, I would probably leave them in this bowl so the roots can stretch out. But the really super tiny ones that are still sprouting, that have teeny tiny roots, I'll put back in. I got cut off because of my storage being full. Anyway, what I'm trying to say is the little tiny ones that still need time to sprout will go back into this thing once it's clean. And then the really big ones, like this one for example, I will plant. Okay, nice and clean. Like I said, I didn't put soap directly in here. I put it on my hands, wetted my hands, lathered them up, and then let the water run over my hands and into them, and then used my fingertips to wash them out. Another name for that stuff that was growing inside the cups, inside the water, is called biofilm. It's really, I don't know, you get biofilm when you don't change your dog's water bowl and their saliva and stuff. Plants can put off similar. It's not the same bacteria, but it's very similar, and it's gross, and it's viscous and slimy, and can harm your plants in the long run. So now I have a bowl full of garlic, and little ones. There's even smaller ones in here. Once I get to them, I'm going to put them back in, and I'm going to organize everything. And then the really tall ones, like this one is ready to be planted, but the others that aren't quite tall enough, like this one here, I'm gonna leave in this bowl and then add water to this, and then the little ones are gonna go in here. One more thing I wanted to mention is that while you're moving these around, if I don't want to handle them too much, but if you're moving them around like I am, like I'm organizing them, these are the ones I'm going to be planting, if they feel slimy, rinse them off. Because if you put them in the soil or you put them back in your water, it's gonna be gross. The biofilm will build up faster because that's what bacteria does, it spreads. Be careful of the roots because you can break them, so be very gentle. Yeah. So unfortunately, if it would focus, we've got our first dud. It's actually, come on, focus. It's starting to rot. Unfortunately, this will happen. I've actually been extremely lucky, so yeah. This will also cause that gross biofilm, is when you have cloves that break down in the water. So it's also a good idea to change the water. So there's a little, see that there's a little bit of rot on this one, but it's still sprouting. So what I'm going to do with this one is I'm going to plant it, even though it's a little short, and see if that will help. If not, we'll just... Alright, I got cut off again. I hate having such a small storage space. Anyway, so I got everything organized for the most part. I lined my bowl with plastic because it's a metal bowl, and I didn't want the garlic and the metal to react. Excuse me. I don't know if they actually will, but a precaution is a precaution. So I'm going to move all of these into this bowl, and then I will move these back underneath the light, and then these will be planted. Alright, under normal growing circumstances, these would be placed much further apart. But I'm going to be transplanting these as soon as it stops getting as cold as this, because I live in Michigan, so these will not be staying in here. I will not be growing these long term. It's just so that the roots don't rot and that they can grow big and tall before I transplant them.